How can someone who is healed or in the healing process navigate being around family that is the cause of their wounds? So yeah, the holidays are tough. Even Ram Dass said, if you think you're enlightened, go spend some time with your mother. But there's a lot you can do to create a very different experience for yourself. If we haven't met, my name is Anya. I teach people about spirituality, the power of your consciousness to transform the reality you live in. This is my book that is available here on TikTok Shop. In a moment, I will talk about a few different mind shifts or tips that will help you get through that Thanksgiving dinner, even if you haven't done inner work. But I'm telling you, it's only November 7th. You have time. The process that I describe in this book and extensively talk about in my videos here on TikTok is something that may take you an hour. Maybe it'll take you 2 hours. If you do it in earnest, every time you will not only feel more space from that place that cannot help but react and cannot help but sink and hurt when you are in the presence of that old thinking, old hurtful behavior, it will also open up a new set of options. And opening your mind to the fact that there could be other options is really important, because in toxic identity-based relationships, usually there's only 2 options. Really, there's only 1 option, but it appears to be as 2 choices. One, you either accept our rules for this game, and if you want to be okay with it, you have to betray yourself a little bit. Or else, the other option, or you experience some consequence now that you don't want to experience. Interestingly, when you're standing there at that fork in the road, you know that if you go this way and you experience the bad thing now, or you go their way and you betray yourself, you will still experience that bad thing later. So it's no win. So in the book, I give you 4 different ways of questioning this conditioned part of you that not only, like I said, creates that reaction and pain in you, but also is responsible for you attracting people just like your family into your life. But for now, I want to tell you that these situations, they always take 2 participants. It doesn't mean that we are equally responsible for bad behavior. One might be all bad, but the other one might just be helpless in relationship to that behavior. And what this inner work does, it makes you question the assumptions and beliefs that make you say yes to things you do not agree with, that make you say no to things that you want to say yes to. And if things are really difficult, I guarantee you that there is a lie, a misconception, a thought, a belief that you mistake for who you are, that makes you think that you either can't deal with the unconsciousness that's in front of you, or cannot deal with the consequences of walking away and not dealing with it at all. Do this work and you will see how free you actually are, and how much you don't need to wait for people out there to change, or even to admit that they need to change, in order for you to start moving forward in a healthy, grounded, happy inner state. But of course, even if you're doing this inner work, you're not going to be able to avoid life, especially during holidays. And so here are a few things to remember. First of all, it's okay for people to be upset. Allow people to have their feelings. It's not the end of the world if somebody's sad, anxious, or angry. It's their feelings. They're happening in their mind, and it's not your responsibility to change or control their feeling state. Another thing to remember is that it's okay for you to have your feelings. They don't make you a bad person. They're just reactions of that old conditioned self, whatever they are, anger, disdain, hate, whatever it is that you're feeling, it's okay for you to feel it. But also, when you recognize that you are in the grips of the strong emotion that looks like that fight or flight response, that triggered response, you actually don't have to do anything about that feeling either. Feelings settle 100% of the time. And it may feel like a betrayal of that part of you that really wants to survive. and feels like it can't survive unless it attacks grandma, to allow the feeling to settle. But you're in a different place. You're not going to leave it alone. And I promise you, when the feeling settles, you can continue your quest of creating a life for yourself where you are strong and you don't have to play or perpetuate the old unconsciousness of your family. It is when we realize that we have a choice, we begin shifting back to who we really are, detaching from identifying with that conditioned part of us that belongs to the old reality and that puts us in danger of perpetuating the same unconsciousness. Maybe not in this situation. In this situation, we may be a victim, but wait until we have kids or wait until we go out in the world. This can flip. It doesn't only work one way. So if we really want to transcend the curse of our generations, we have to look at where we feel helpless. And lastly, and this is a fun one, stop waiting for them to change. Stop hoping that you will show up at your family gathering and you will finally be loved, finally be recognized, finally be approved of. Before you go, actually spend some time predicting the future and make a game out of it. Some people call it, Thanksgiving bingo. I think I read that in one of Martha Beck's books. Or perhaps you can assign a dollar value to every prediction that will come true and start looking forward to them being as close-minded as they are, as hurtful as they are, as judgmental as they are. Check it off your list. And when you accumulate a certain number of points, go buy yourself a gift. It's a really powerful thing when you see that those people don't need to change and you can still create the kind of life that you want. Check out my book, Do Identity Work. Get it for a friend who is on a spiritual self-inquiry path, or maybe even that relative that triggers you at a holiday table. Just kidding. Let them come to it on their own.